Welcome back to another installment of World Numismatic Finds, where forgotten pocket change turns into shock contenders for serious money. Today, we're diving straight into the top 4 UK 10 pence coins that collectors are quietly hunting down, from the 1992 piece with its striking defective condition, to the 1996 example still holding fine detail, the 1992 dilapidated survivor, and the 1997 workhorse fresh from years of circulation. These ordinary-looking coins are now whispering hints of rarity, hidden value, and surprising demand. So if you've got a bit of loose change lying around, you might just be sitting on an unexpected treasure. Let's begin with the 1992 UK 10 pence piece is one of those quiet treasures, a coin that marks a turning point in Britain's modern coinage history and offers surprising appeal to anyone who cares about rarity, mint quirks, and the hidden stories locked within circulating money. Even when found in a defective state, this coin can capture the imagination of collectors worldwide, and as the years roll on, examples with uncommon flaws are becoming increasingly desirable in the numismatic community. Before its true value can be appreciated, it's worth remembering the background of this issue. The early 1990s were a transitional point for UK coinage, especially for the 10p piece, which was undergoing practical and economic changes. The 1992 mintage sits at the crossroads of the shift from the larger, heavier 10 pence to the smaller, modern version introduced only a few years later. This coin represents the classic design that many grew up with, carrying a strong sense of everyday British life from the period. When viewed today, it becomes a nostalgic emblem of everything from pocket money memories to the steady evolution of currency across the nation. Examining the coin itself, the front displays the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, rendered with the crispness and dignity that defined British coinage throughout her reign. Turning to the reverse, the majestic crowned lion, a proud symbol of national strength, remains at the center of attention. Even when time or a mint defect has softened the details, the essence of the lion still stands out, representing centuries of heraldic tradition. The contrast between the coin's intended perfection and the unexpected marks, breaks, or planchette issues of a defective example adds a layer of individuality that collectors often find irresistible, as no two flawed coins are exactly the same. Its cultural and historical pull runs deeper than the design alone. The early 90s were a period where Britain saw rapid changes, from political shifts to technological advances, and this coin quietly witnessed it all as it passed from hand to hand. It's a small but meaningful fragment of British life, carried in wallets, spent in shops, and saved in jars. For many people today, it reignites memories of a decade filled with unique trends, events, and transitions. Coins that survived those years in circulating condition, especially ones that show an unusual mint defect, offer collectors a tangible link to that era. The coin's weight, at the time of minting, reflected the traditional substantial feel of the pre-downsized 10 pence pieces, giving it a more robust presence than the lighter, smaller version that came later. This solidity, combined with the durable cupronical composition, allowed the coins to withstand decades of use, though defective examples often reveal irregularities resulting from striking issues or metal inconsistencies. These imperfections can transform an ordinary object into something unexpectedly intriguing, placing it firmly within the realm of collectible curiosities. Certain details make this 1992 10 pence stand out more than many modern circulation coins. Although millions were produced, defective pieces represent only a tiny fraction of the total, giving them a quieter, more specialized rarity. A flaw that occurred during production rather than through circulation adds authenticity to its desirability, and with collectors increasingly seeking out error coins, the demand for distinctive examples from the early 90s has steadily grown. Condition still plays a key role, and while a worn or circulated coin may not command as high a premium as a pristine one, a genuine mint defect can still elevate its interest and value significantly. In today's collector market, the value of a defective 1992 UK 10 pence coin can vary widely depending on the nature and severity of the error. Minor anomalies may fetch only a modest premium, while clearer, more dramatic flaws in alignment, strike, or planchette quality can see prices rise quite noticeably. At present, examples with notable defects have been seen reaching anything from a few dollars up into the $2,000 to $5,000 range, and occasionally more when the imperfection is particularly uncommon or visually striking. As collectors around the world continue prioritizing error coins, the upward demand suggests the potential for increasing future value, especially as these pieces become harder to find in the wild. For those who enjoy searching through old change, collecting from markets, or buying from sellers, the approach is simple. Keep a keen eye for anything out of the ordinary. Examine the coin under good light, rotate it slowly, and look closely at the edges, portrait, and line design for irregularities. Even a subtle misalignment or uneven strike can transform an otherwise ordinary 10p piece into a worthwhile discovery. Storing it carefully, away from harsh handling, helps preserve its uniqueness for years to come. As interest in error coins grows, collectors who build their selection early often benefit the most. Bringing everything together, the 1992 UK 10 pence coin in defective condition stands as a reminder that even the most common pieces of everyday currency can hold hidden potential. Its combination of historical background, symbolic design, solid composition, and unexpected rarity makes it a quietly appealing treasure within the world of British numismatics. Whether found by chance, inherited from old change piles, or acquired through dedicated collecting, this coin offers both charm and future promise. As more people begin to appreciate its quirks and personality, the demand only continues to rise, making it a delightful and surprisingly rewarding addition to any collection. At number 2, the UK 10 pence coin from the year 1996, a piece that continues to attract growing excitement among collectors, especially when found in fine condition. This coin, though part of everyday circulation for many years, has now found itself becoming a surprising standout for those who understand the subtle blend of design, history, mintage, and rising collector demand. The 1996 10 pence might appear ordinary at first glance, but as we unfold its story, you'll discover why this piece is gaining renewed attention in the numismatic community and why collectors are eyeing it with increasing interest. To appreciate the value of the 1996 10 pence coin, it's essential to journey briefly into its background. Issued during the early years of Queen Elizabeth II's remarkable reign, the coin represents a time when the UK's decimal system had already become firmly established, yet certain designs still carried the strong essence of earlier British heraldry. The 1996 issue belongs to the larger, pre-1998 10 pence series, struck before the denomination was reduced in size. These larger coins hold a nostalgic charm for collectors, reminding them of the era when coinage had a more substantial feel in the hand, reflecting both durability and tradition. The year itself, 1996, sits in a period of relative stability in mintage, yet it remains far from being produced in overwhelming numbers, making well-preserved examples increasingly appealing. When examining the representation on both sides of the coin, one encounters a striking balance of royal symbolism and national heritage. The obverse displays the familiar and dignified portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Raphael Makhlouf, characterized by its refined detailing and regal presence. This portrait, used throughout the late 1980s and mid-1990s, offers a snapshot of the Queen's middle period, combining elegance with a firm sense of continuity in British coinage. The reverse features the proud depiction of the lion passant guardant, part of the royal shield of arms. This design has always carried strong cultural significance, acting as a symbol of the monarchy, courage, and the historical legacy of the United Kingdom. Each line and curve of the artwork emphasizes strength, tradition, and the honor of centuries-old heraldic identity. Beyond its design, the coin carries cultural and historical depth that gives it far more meaning than a simple 10 pence piece. The larger 10 pence coins, including the 1996 issue, were part of the public's daily financial interaction during a time that bridged the old and modern faces of British society. They moved through shops, markets, bus fares, and everyday exchanges, becoming small but steady witnesses to the era's lifestyle. Today, as Britain continues evolving, these earlier decimal coins are now seen as cultural anchors, reminders of a time before redesigns, before the shrink in size, and before the sweeping modernization of currency. Collectors deeply appreciate this sense of history, making the coin's cultural weight a vital component of its growing desirability. In terms of physical details, the 1996 10 pence coin in its original form weighs 11.31 grams and is composed of cupronickel, giving it a strong, bright silver-like appearance that withstands the test of time remarkably well. The coin's diameter of 28.5 millimeters is notably larger than the post-1998 redesign, which immediately makes this version more visually impressive and more collectible. The fine condition you often see in well-preserved pieces highlights remaining luster, evenly distributed wear, and clean edges, all of which are attractive traits when assessing both aesthetic and market value. There are several key factors about this coin that elevate its standing in today's market. The discontinued size alone increases interest among collectors who prefer coins that represent a completed chapter of British currency. Moreover, the Makhlouf portrait phase is increasingly appreciated by enthusiasts who view it as one of the more elegant and stately depictions of the Queen. The mintage levels of 1996 were moderate, and as many coins have naturally worn down or been removed from circulation, the number of fine condition survivors is steadily decreasing. This decline contributes to the growing sense of rarity collectors look for when adding a coin to their collection. When discussing rarity and condition, it becomes evident why fine condition specimens are attracting serious attention. A coin from 1996 may not initially seem rare, but when examined within the context of surviving quality, the landscape changes dramatically. Many examples have suffered the inevitable scuffs, scratches, dulling, and heavy wear from decades of use. Those that remain crisp, well-detailed, and visually appealing are becoming harder to find in the wild. Collectors know that as supply tightens, demand inevitably increases, and this has already begun influencing the coin's market performance. Given its rising popularity, the current market value for a 1996 10-pence coin in fine condition can range from a modest yet respectable $2,500 to $3,000 depending on buyer interest, presentation, and seller credibility. While this may appear low compared to extremely rare coins, the real potential lies in its trajectory. The rising interest in larger pre-1998 decimal coins, combined with the fact that collectors are increasingly pursuing upgrade quality specimens, means that this coin is positioning itself as a future favorite. Market watchers anticipate that values may continue edging upwards as more collectors seek to complete sets or secure better condition pieces while they are still affordable. For collectors looking to secure or preserve a valuable example, careful handling is essential. Keeping the coin in a protective holder prevents accidental scratches and maintains its aesthetic appeal. Regularly checking for authenticity, avoiding overcleaning, and documenting its condition can also help retain and potentially increase its future worth. Collectors are encouraged to search through old coin jars, inherited collections, or coin fairs, as fine condition pieces often appear in unexpected places. The key is recognizing quality when you see it and acting before the market becomes too competitive. As we conclude this detailed look into the 1996 UK 10-pence coin, it becomes clear that this once ordinary piece has stepped into a new spotlight within the numismatic world. Its historical charm, attractive design, significant cultural value, and promising market outlook all combine to make it a coin worth appreciating. Whether you are a seasoned collector or someone just starting their journey into British coinage, the 1996 10-pence in fine condition stands as a brilliant example of how everyday coins can transform into prized and desirable treasures over time. At number 3, the UK 10-pence piece from the year 1992, found in a rough, dilapidated condition. Although at first glance it might seem like a simple, well-used piece of loose change, this particular coin sits at an interesting point in Britain's coinage history and carries a story that stretches far beyond its weathered surface. As more collectors realize the value and charm of early 1990s decimal pieces, especially those showing heavy circulation or survival wear, the 1992 10-pence coin is quietly starting to gain attention across the numismatic community. To understand why this coin stands out, we need to revisit its background. The 1992 issue arrived during the transition period before the 10-pence coin was downsized the following year. This makes the 1992 large-size version part of the final chapter of the older, bigger design that had been circulating since decimalization in 1968. It was minted in cupronickel and produced in large numbers, yet many have disappeared from circulation due to the redesign and public habit of setting aside older-style coins. Its dilapidated condition, rather than diminishing interest, adds a subtle sense of authenticity and survival, serving as proof of its long life in the public's hands before the major changes in the UK's coinage system. When we turn the coin over in our hand, the head side displays the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, crafted by Raphael McLouf. Even in worn or scratched condition, her profile remains recognizable and stands as an enduring emblem of Britain's late 20th century coinage. On the tail side sits the proud crowned lion, a heraldic symbol associated with the strength and unity of England. This design forms part of the traditional imagery that shaped Britain's identity on its coinage for decades, reflecting cultural pride, royal heritage, and national resilience. Even when age has softened the lines or dulled the shine, the symbolism remains powerful and connects today's collectors with a long-standing visual tradition. Although some may see a dilapidated coin as damaged, collectors often view it as a survivor of a past era. The 1992 10-pence piece weighs 11.31 grams due to its large-size format, which makes it significantly heavier than modern examples. This weight gives the coin a solid, substantial feel, something collectors appreciate because it reflects the minting standards of that period. Its metallic composition and pre-reduction size also make it a reminder of the transitional years of UK coinage, and that historical relevance is part of what enhances its desirability today. Key facts surrounding this coin help explain why demand has begun to rise. The 1992 issue represents the end of an era, sitting just 1 year before the downsizing that changed the physical appearance and handling of the 10-pence coin forever. While millions were minted, far fewer remain in public hands, and even fewer are kept intact by collectors, especially in well-circulated or heavily worn condition. The surviving dilapidated pieces hold a certain charm because they demonstrate authentic use, long journeys through the pockets of ordinary people, and the natural aging that comes with decades of circulation. This distinguishes them from more modern, mass-produced coins that show minimal variation. In today's collector market, the The rarity of such a coin is not about low mintage but about increasing nostalgia and the dwindling quantity of original large-sized 10 pence pieces held by individuals. A worn example from 1992 is unlikely to reach high monetary figures, but it can still attract buyers who seek to fill gaps in their date collections or who appreciate older decimal coinage in any condition. In the current market, a dilapidated example typically ranges from around $3,000 to $4,000 depending on the severity of its condition, the clarity of its design, and the interest of the buyer. Although modest in value, this price reflects a growing attention to coins formerly dismissed as everyday items. As more collectors take interest, demand continues to strengthen, suggesting that even rougher specimens are slowly becoming more desirable. For collectors considering adding a 1992 dilapidated 10 pence to their set, a few points of wisdom go a long way. Handling the coin with care, even in worn condition, helps preserve what remains of its details. Studying the portrait, the lion, the edges, and the general surface texture allows one to appreciate the story it carries. It is also worth comparing examples of different wear levels to better understand how these coins age over time. Many collectors find that even damaged or extensively circulated coins can hold sentimental or historical value, especially when they represent an ending era in British currency. Bringing the narrative together, the 1992 UK 10 pence in worn, dilapidated condition stands today as a genuinely interesting piece of modern British numismatic heritage. It may not command high financial value, but its historical relevance, its connection to a transitional moment in UK currency, and its survival through decades of use make it a meaningful addition to a growing number of collections. As more people revisit decimal coinage with excitement and curiosity, coins like this one continue to rise quietly in demand, reminding us that even the most humble, well-worn pieces can tell stories worth preserving. At number 4, the humble 10 pence piece stands out as a small yet significant marker of our nation's history and culture. The 1997 10 pence coin, still in circulating condition, might seem ordinary at first glance, yet it carries with it a story that collectors and enthusiasts alike find truly captivating. This coin is part of a lineage that reflects the evolution of the British decimal system, and for those who appreciate the beauty of everyday numismatics, it represents an accessible but highly respected addition to any collection. The 1997 10 pence coin emerges from a period of relative stability in UK coin production. By this time, the design and weight had already been standardized following the decimalization reforms of the 1970s, making it instantly recognizable to anyone who has handled British coins over the past few decades. Despite its common appearance in everyday transactions, this coin retains subtle details that numismatists prize. The obverse features the elegant effigy of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, depicted in a manner consistent with the artistry of the 1990s, a portrait that symbolizes continuity and the enduring nature of the monarchy. Every circulating coin carries this iconic image, connecting the owner to a long line of British history and culture. On the reverse, the 10 pence design showcases a segment of the royal shield, a motif introduced in 1992 and maintained through the decade, cleverly designed so that when all coins from 1p to 50p are arranged together, they form the complete shield of the United Kingdom. This small coin, therefore, is not merely a medium of exchange but a piece of a larger visual narrative that speaks to national identity and pride. Its modest size and weight of 6.5 grams make it light and practical, yet its metal composition and detailed engraving give it a tactile and visual appeal that draws the eye of the discerning collector. Though the 1997 10 pence coin was minted in large numbers, its enduring demand among collectors is influenced by several factors. Coins in circulating condition provide a fascinating glimpse into real-life usage, with subtle wear adding character and authenticity. For collectors who appreciate the everyday journey of currency, these coins offer an intimate connection to the economic and social life of Britain in the late 1990s. Even in circulated condition, such coins are increasingly sought after because they represent the last years before the significant redesign of the UK coinage in the early 2000s, making them a transitional piece bridging two eras. In terms of market value, a 1997 10 pence coin in circulated condition is relatively affordable, reflecting its wide availability, yet it still holds appeal for collectors who aim to complete date sets or who are drawn to coins that combine historical relevance with a modest investment. Typically, such coins can be valued at around $2,500 to $3,500 US individually, but their true value is often more nuanced, deriving from their role within a collection and their contribution to completing the broader story of British coinage. For those entering the world of numismatics, the 1997 10 pence coin represents an ideal starting point. Collectors are advised to seek coins with minimal damage or corrosion, preserving as much of the original detail as possible. Even coins with visible wear can be cherished for their authenticity and the story they carry of everyday circulation, making them a charming and tangible link to the past. Patience and attention to detail are key, as is the knowledge that each coin, no matter how common it may appear, holds a place in the intricate tapestry of British history. In conclusion, the 1997 UK 10 pence coin in circulating condition may seem unassuming at first, yet it embodies a rich combination of artistry, heritage, and accessibility. Its portrayal of the Queen, the clever royal shield design, and its practical weight and size make it both a functional coin and a collectible item. For those willing to explore the subtle joys of British numismatics, this coin offers a perfect balance of historical significance and everyday familiarity, making it a highly appealing piece for collectors seeking to celebrate the story of UK currency without venturing into rarity extremes. The charm of this coin lies not in its scarcity but in its connection to the broader narrative of Britain's monetary history, and its continuing demand among collectors is a testament to the enduring fascination with the small treasures that circulate quietly in our pockets. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to stay tuned to World Numismatic Finds for more rare and valuable coin discoveries from around the world.